Hello everybody, and welcome to another HustleNHoops team breakdown. Now, today, we're going to be talking about the Brooklyn Nets. Let's just jump right into it with their core four. We got Kevin Durant at the one, the Slim Reaper. He, unfortunately, at this time of the recording, basically just went down with an injury, which is extremely unfortunate. And next, you got Kyrie Irving having an absolutely amazing year so far. Nicholas Claxton completely showing us way more than we expected, or at least I expected, from such a young player, from a player who showed us a lot of potential defensively, but the stuff on the offensive end, I don't think I expected at all. And then you got Ben Simmons, who has his moments for sure, but as a whole has really seemed to find his place. Now, the Brooklyn Nets are 27-13. They're on a 2-game winning streak. They're 5th in offensive rating, 9th in defensive rating, 1st in field goal percentage at 51.2, 2nd in 3-point percentage. They're 29th in rebounding, but they make up for that by being 17th in defensive rebounding, which isn't great, but they hold their opponents to 61%, which is 4th best in the NBA. So, this team has really, under Jacque Vaughn, has really taken a lot of steps to become a genuinely competitive team. And, they're 8th in assists, 16th in turnovers. When you look at their play types, their offensive archetype, their shot dashboard, they get most of their points off isolation, transition, cuts, and off screens. Now, does that surprise you? No, probably not. But they are 3rd in isolation possessions and 2nd in isolation points per possession at 1.05. You got KD and Kyrie. What are you gonna expect? You got them being 9th in transition points or transition possessions, 11th, tied 11th in transition points per possession at 1.14. They were 5th in cut possessions and tied for 23rd in cut points per possession, 1.26. The max on the points per possession, it's not too far off. The spread is not crazy. And then you have off screen where they're tied 4th in possessions and tied 9th in points per possession at 0.98. Ben Simmons, Nicholas Claxton, Royce O'Neal, there are guys on this team that will go around and set back screens and pin downs. But shooting efficiency wise, they're 2nd in catch and shoot field goal percentage at 41.3, 1st in pull up field goal percentage at 47.9, 4th in pull up 3-point percentage at 37.2, 1st in paint touch field goal percentage at 72.7. Absolutely wild. We looked at the Denver Nuggets and we saw that, they were 1st at a period of time in elbow touch and paint touch and post touch field goal percentage. And, the Nets have really continued to take advantage of the tools that their players provide. And Jacque Vaughn has done a great job. Jacque Vaughn has done an excellent job, and the players they're shooting 61% from the elbow. It's only 10th, but, they were 1st in pull-up points, makes sense. 16th in passes made, 30th in distance miles offense. The question of how do you maintain the offense when KD or Kyrie is not on the floor? And TJ Warren has really taken advantage of his chance so far to come in and just provide some offense off the bench. Royce O'Neal is giving you almost double digits. Seth Curry, then Fuego, of course. Joe Harris finally back in the lineup consistently. Yuta Watanabe seemed very happy and enjoying his bench role. Cam Thomas has struggled to earn steady minutes despite having a few fun ones so far, in my opinion. And then you got Patty Mills coming in and moving the ball well. And Markieff Morris has definitely regressed, but, that's okay. He comes in, he shoots, he sets some picks. This team has, or at least Jacque Vaughn, has really done a great job of spreading out the minutes and keeping the ball moving. Because, that's by far the most important thing. By far. And despite them being one of the least movement-heavy teams, Jugvon has found a way to at least do what he can with the roster that he has. Now, what are we here for? It's the deep dive. This Brooklyn Nets experiment has been interesting, to say the least. But the most prevalent theme, to me, has been KD's ridiculously high usage in offensive load. When you look at his opportunity and usage numbers this year, he's in the 92nd percentile in touches per game, the 96th percentile in scoring possessions per 75, and the 99th percentile in true usage rate. The easy money sniper, living up to his name, KD, and his efficiency numbers are insane. When looking at points per possession, KD is miles ahead of the competition. Miles. There isn't one player outside of Stephen Curry, if you remove post-ups from the equation, that's even close to KD when it comes to points per possession. So let's talk about it. Efficiency. It's in the 92nd percentile in effective field goal percentage, 96th percentile in true shooting percentage, 96th percentile in points per shot, 95th percentile in points per possession, 95th percentile in points over expectation. Now, you may ask, that doesn't sound that crazy. Well, he was in the 99th percentile in stable PNR ball handler points per possession. He was in the 99th percentile in stable spot-up points per possession. He was in the 99th percentile in handoff points per possession. He was in the 99th percentile in stable post-up points per possession. And finally, he was in the 98th percentile in stable ISO points per possession. So KD is just killing you in every way fucking possible. Every way. You ask him to come off the screen, send me a pin down. I'll curl. I'll pop that bitch right in his face and I'm gonna cash it. He just needs the ball in his hands. That's it. Stop, period. Ball gets in KD's hands, it's over. So you either have to foul or you let him take that shot and play the numbers game, which, it's not a good one for you. It's not a good numbers game for you. You don't have good odds in that one at all. But obviously, KD's bread and butter is his isolation game. KD loves posting and facing you up and giving his combo of head fakes, hezzies. But at the end of the day, KD is just going to pull that bitch right in your face. Doesn't care. Defender right in his face. 55% of his field goal attempts are pull-ups. 61% of his shots come with the defender within 2 to 4 feet. I'll repeat that. 61% of his shots come with the defender within 2 to 4 feet. Only 5% of his shots are wide open. He was in the 96th percentile in total ISOs per 75. 98th percentile in total ISO impact per 75. When looking at his floater shot, he was in the 95th percentile in floater shot making, the 88th percentile in floater shot creation, and the 93rd percentile in floater shot talent. For the mid-range, he was in the 100th percentile in mid-range pull-up shot making. He was in the 100th percentile in mid-range pull-up shot talent, and he was in the 0th percentile in mid-range pull-up shot quality. So KD is going to get his shot off, but it's going to be a shitty shot for most players. Not for KD. That's not to say that KD doesn't move off ball. When you have Kyrie Irving, there's definitely going to be some possessions off. KD also has a good habit of setting screens for his shooters when he's not necessarily in score first mode. He's in the 82nd percentile in movement points per 75, the 93rd percentile in off-screen possessions per 75, and the 99th percentile in off-screen share percentage. Like I said, KD likes to hang out in the post, despite his paint touch numbers being low. He's first in field goal attempts from 10 to 14 feet and not too far down the 5 to 9 feet list. He was in the 77th percentile in total post frequency, 32nd percentile in paint touches per 75, and the 96th percentile in post-up impact per 75. Now, it's always fun for me to look at superstars' shooting numbers, specifically their perimeter shooting numbers. It's almost hilarious, actually. When you look at KD's, he was in the first percentile in three-point openness rating. He was in the second percentile in three-point shot quality and the 85th percentile in three-point shot making. KD, again, is gonna, he might run off a couple pin downs. He might run off a double curl. He might come off a handoff. But at the end of the day, he's going to pull that bitch in your face. Now, playmaking has always been an underrated part of KD's game. He was a 91st percentile in potential assists per 100 passes, 93rd percentile in passing versatility, 97th percentile in passing creation quality, and the 98th percentile in box creation. He primarily playmakes out of the high post at the top of the key and the left baseline. KD has allowed his teammates to, do their thing. You see guys like TJ Warren, you see guys like Yuta Watanabe, you see guys like, you see Kyrie Irving come out there and be able to do what they do, and KD does not intrude on that, does not interfere on that, and he still gets his 35-40. I don't have much else. A little deep dive, a little look at their stats. The Brooklyn Nets are doing great this year. Ever since, Jacques Vaughn came in, it's been a complete change of scenery, and you really just have to tip your hat off to the Brooklyn Nets and all their players and all their staff. I'm very excited to see what this Brooklyn Nets team can do in the playoffs. I haven't, and no, it's not a James Harden thing, I haven't been totally confident about this Brooklyn team ever up until now. And I'm not saying that I'm like, ooh, Brooklyn's about to win the chip. I'm just saying, I didn't have them in my first 4 videos. Obviously, I don't believe that they're a conference finals team, but I do believe that they can genuinely make an impact and make a run. Who knows? Definitely not me. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you liked it, or if you didn't. I don't really. Chicken wraps.